Well, hello, welcome to the Speedroid deck profile. Disclaimer: if you just want the deck, make top row important. This row is important. These side deck cards, or not these side deck cards, but these cards that look like they're side deck cards, you can replace them with whatever's in the meta. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, so like these might not be good. Or I know that some of these aren't good, but they're just here. And then for the extra deck, you don't actually want two Crystal Clear Wing Dragons. You want a Baronne de Fleur. But aside from that, yeah, you just replace these with whatever you want, whatever is currently good in the meta, and then replace these with a Baronne de Fleur, which I don't have because it's expensive. But yeah, that's a disclaimer. And so yeah. Also, I'm wearing a drawing glove because my fingers, you can see, they're not the best conditions in this ring finger, in this pinky. Might not be in the best condition, so I'm wearing gloves just so the video doesn't look terrible. But anyway, this is the Speedroid deck profile. Actually, this is my own deck. There might actually be better decks lists out there online with a complete, like, normal deck and actually has a Baron. But this is just what I use, and I use this in Duel Masters just because it's really good. It's really good dunking on people. Again, there might be better cards, but these are the ratios I use, and again, this is the ratio of like leftover stuff. These are interchangeable right here. But anyways, let's talking about the theory of the deck. The main thing you want to summon is Cosmic Blazar Dragon. This card is basically the whole reason you play this deck is so that you can summon this card super easy. And that's all this deck is good at, honestly, is just summoning this card. And this card is one of the best negation synchro monsters in my opinion, because it bounces itself. Mate, your opponent summons something, mate, you bounce this guy, negate the summon, boom. Positive is that it uses itself as cost. So if it negates something, it banishes itself as cost and it returns to the end phase. The reason why that's good is because this card is very hard to remove. Like, even if your opponent uses infinite impermanence to negate this card's effect, or they use like a solemn strike or something, this guy can bounce itself and then come back. So it's like super good and it's hard to get rid of. The only real good ways of getting rid of this card, for example, would be a Kaiju. Kaijus are really good. Lava Golem, Sphere Mode Raw is really good. Also, cards like Super Polymerization. Again, even like I don't know the complete. I should probably know this, but I don't really know the rulings of this card. Can you like Forbidden Droplet it? If you like discard a monster with Forbidden Droplet, can you like? Because it sends itself as cost. Even when you like negate its effect and stuff, you can just send it as cost and it returns. So it's really good negation card. But the only bad thing is that, well, it removes itself from the field. So if your opponent, for example, Forbidden Droplets it, okay, you remove it, but now they have a free board to attack into. So it's really good, but sometimes it cannot be good. Oh, there's a cable for the mic. Look at that. Okay, anyways, let's start with the deck list here, and I'll go through everything. It's pretty good in my opinion. It's not tier 1 by any means. It's not even tier 2. Mate, it's not even rogue. It's like just terrible. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. That's why we're here. You think I'm gonna play meta? Also, I'm making this video right now, even though I probably shouldn't, because I just got these cards in, and look, I have like an all common. Like, I love all common decks. Common and rare are like their lowest rarities. These are shiny though. But I just like low rarity cards just because they don't warp. There's a hair in here. They don't warp. So it's super good. I do have some like extra Speedroid stuff that is like hollow. Like, I do have some hollow dice and whatever, but you know, we don't like them not hollow. The first card that we have are 3 Denden Daiko Dukes. These cards are really good because it's a tuner, and it's a level 3 tuner, and also this helps facilitate your combo. If you have this card in your hand, you have a really good chance of summoning the Cosmic Blazar Dragon. So it's why we have 3 of them. We're going to be using 3 Speedroid Red Eye Dice. This card is super important as well. You need this card in your combo. Well, you don't need Den and Daiko Duke in your combo. This facilitates it really well. But you're going to need Red Eye Dice for just your general Synchro summonings. Like, this is super important. You run 3 of them. Some turns, you literally do go through 3 of them. Like, if you get a really weird hand, you might literally go through all 3 of these dice. And I'll give you an example when that might happen. Double Yoyo, these are super important because not only is this good for your turn 1, again, it's part of your main combo in this deck, but this is a really good card for your turn 2. Believe it or not, Speedroid ends in 2 turns. Your turn 1 and turn 2. Usually games don't last past that. You either lose or win in those 2 turns, honestly. And so having 2 dice for your turn 1 and turn 2 is super important. Horse Stilts. This card isn't that good, but again, it's really important because one of your main ways of getting combos is to summon this Link monster. And so it's really important to be able to summon a Link monster, and look, it costs 2 wins. Horse Stilt is good because it helps you summon another Wind monster from your hand. But yeah, I'll get to, oh my god, the deck is all missing out. I'm assuming, like, I'm not telling you guys exactly what these cards do, because if you're watching this video, you probably know what these cards do, or you can read them by yourself. But I'm just telling you, like, how they work in, like, the ecosystem of this deck, in my opinion. We only run 2 Taketomborgs. Taketomborg is an extremely powerful card. You may have seen this outside of Speedroids just because it's so powerful. Being able to special summon it super easy, which makes it for XYZ and linking, because it's a you can special summon it. So, you know, it's really good. You only run 2 of these cards. There's one of the effects right here is the special summoning. You can only special summon 1 of these once per turn. So because you can only special summon it once per turn, you don't really want to run 3. However, you can tribute it twice. So if you for some reason have 2 of these, you could use that tribute effect twice. And right there, it could be super good. We run 2 CardTurbos. Similarly to Taketomborg, CardTurbo can also special summon itself when there's a Wind monster on board. It's a tuner, and it's pretty good. But keep in mind, the reason why it's not as good as Taketomborg is because when you special summon it, you can only special summon Wind monsters for the rest of your turn. If you notice, my extra deck is just all Wind monsters. There are really great Synchro monsters, but as you see here, we're running all Wind monsters. And so keep that in mind. There are great options for Synchro monsters, but this deck, because of how it runs, can only special summon Wind monsters. We're running 1 Rubberband Plane. The reason why I want this card is because of level 5. It's a level 5, and so we kind of need a level 5 monster in this deck, a Speedroid level 5 monster. And again, it's a really good extender. You just want a lot of special summoning with this deck, because you just want to special summon as many Synchro monsters on the board. Ideally, you want to summon a Cosmic Blazar. That's good enough, but you could summon a Cosmic Blazar and then a Crystal Clear Wing or a Crystal Wing. If you're really lucky, you can summon multiple Synchro monsters besides the Blazar. And if you're unlucky, you might not summon anything or just summon a Crystal Clear Wing, which is still good enough. A Crystal Clear Wing or a Baronne is still good enough. In my opinion, I don't think Baronne's that good by itself, but you could. The star of the show here is going to be Speedroid Terrortop. This card, I'm pretty sure it's still limited to 1. Like, this card actually got hit in the ban list and is limited to 1 just because it's so good. You can special summon this card from your hand if you control no monsters, and then you can search for a Speedroid card. You search for Taketomborg, you search for Taketomborg, boom. You don't need to normal summon, and you already have a level 3 XYZ. So that's why it got banned, I'm pretty sure. It was because of Phantom Knights or whatever. But we only have 1 Taketomborg here, or I'm sorry, we only have 1 Terrortop, and yeah, it's your searcher. And again, it's your main combo piece in this deck. It's the main combo piece. And then we also have for our last monster, again, it's a level 2, which is super important because we don't have level 2 in this deck. So this is our only level 2 Speedroid monster, which is important. It's Pendulum, which doesn't really matter. However, when it's normal summon, you can search for a Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. So Again, Terrortop doesn't need to use up the normal summon, but the Marble Machine will use up a normal summon. And again, you can still search for CardTurbo, which special summons itself, or you can search for Taketomborg, which again special summons itself. So super good. We use 3 Mecha Phantom Beast Tetherwolves. The only reason why this is in the deck is to get the Rubberband shooter. Because when you normal summon this card, you summon a Wind Tuner. And Rubberband shooter only needs 2 Wind monsters to link. So you normal summon this card, you get a tuner, boom, you link. Again, getting this card facilitates your combo, so it's really important to get your link Rubberband shooter. We also run 2 red-haired Hasty Horse. Again, it's another extender, very similar to the plane. It's a level 5, but it's not a Speedroid, so it doesn't matter what level this is, honestly. But you can special summon this card if there's a column that's empty. You can special summon it, and if someone puts something in that column, then it gets destroyed. And so you have to be careful not to like set cards in the same row as your red-haired horse. And but again, you can special summon this card, and then normal summon like another random card like a Daiko Duke, and then you can get your Rubberband shooter. So it's really good to be able to special summon your Rubberband shooter. Basically, it's this card. We are running 3 Speedroid Wheel. Now, this is a new card. I'm actually not running any Speedroid Scratch, but I'm running 3 Speedroid Wheel. This, literally 50% of the times... Alright, let's roll the dice here. Let's roll the dice. I rolled a 3. Well, unlucky. Alright, let's roll again. I got a 3 again. Well, unlucky. Let's roll again. That's a 6. See, it's a 6. I would have gotten Cosmic Blazar right there if I rolled a 6. Cosmic Wheel is super good. You discard 1 card as cost, but there is literally a 50% chance if you roll a 3, if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, that's literally a Blazar. If you roll a 3 or 2, or if you roll just a 3, that's pretty decent. If you roll a 2, that's pretty decent too. If you roll a 1, then you're pretty unhappy. But even rolling a 1, you still get to special summon a Speedroid card. So this card is just super good, is because you can special summon Speedroid monsters. It does take 2 cards. You discard this card, you discard 1 card, and you use this card. So you use 2 cards from your hand, and you special summon a Speedroid monster. Depending on, like, the level needs to add up to how much you roll on the dice. So if you roll like a 6, you can summon any combination of 6, which is why it's important to have like a level 5, level 2, and all that jazz. So this card is really good, especially summoning 2 monsters like a Tetherwolf, or you can, special summon 1 monster, but you still special summon a monster. You can still normal summon another monster and then get your Rubberband shooter. We use 3 speed recoveries. Yeah, I forgot to order common speed recoveries. These are actually super rare from Hi-Speed Raiders. So yeah, it's not a completely common deck. I'm very sad that I forgot to order speed recovery. Anyways, it's a special summon card. These special summon. Okay, also let's talk about World Legacy, Succession, and Monster Reborn. These cards are all very important. It's because to make the combo work, you need to special summon a tuner, a level 1. You need to special summon a red eye dice. And there are a few cards that can do that. All of these cards can special summon the extra red eye dice, and then also your Daiko Dukes. So these are very important to have your Cosmic Blazar combo work. Literally, a Tetherwolf and a Speed Recovery is enough to get a Blazar. So it's super important to be able to special summon a red eye dice from your graveyard. So that's why you run 3 Speed Recoveries, 2 World Legacy Successions, which only work if you have a Link monster, and a Monster Reborn. We only use 2 World Legacy Successions because these are once per turn. Speed Recoveries, you can use as many. You can use all 3 Speed Recoveries in 1 turn, if you want to. So these cards are really good. There's 3 of also Monster Reborn. You can special summon your opponent's monsters. But Speed Recovery also has a secondary effect. And again, your turn 2 is important. Your turn 2 is extremely important in this deck. So Speed Recovery, if you use it turn 1, it gets another effect turn 2 that can be super valuable. And then off to the rest of the cards. No, this isn't Starlight Rare. This is from Noble Knight Roundtable. I wish I was cool enough to have a Starlight Rare Effect Veiler. But yeah, these are your other cards that you can use. In Duel Links, I do use 2 Ash Blossoms. I do use 2 Called by the Grave. I actually use 1 Lightning Vortex. And then I use Max C Maxi, Infinite Impermanence, Infinite Impermanence. But in this deck, again, this is whatever you want it to be. Again, these can be Infinite Impermanence. I'm too poor, so I don't have Infinite Impermanence. And yeah, I don't know what meta cards there are nowadays. So these are like whatever meta cards is, or whatever meta card you want to use in your deck. They don't need to be these cards. They can be like, again, Forbidden Droplet. I already mentioned that card. I know there's some triple tactic cards. Maybe you want to run like a Nibiru or whatever. You can run whatever you want. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 slots, so it's almost a fourth of your deck. You can run you can run anything you want. I do recommend Called by the Grave. You do want something to negate your opponent's trap monsters. DD Crows, Called by the Grave are the ones that come to mind, because a Effect Veiler can end your combo. An Ash Blossom Joyous Spring can end your combo. And like literally, if you get hit by one of these, there are ways that you can play through an Ash Blossom. I will kind of demonstrate some hands where you can probably play through an Ash Blossom, or even 2 Ash Blossoms. Well, these are once per turn. Maybe an Ash Blossom and Infinite Impermanence. You could play through those. It's possible. But you probably do want some sort of a hand trap negation cards. You probably also want some Spell Trap Destruction. Again, I run a single Lightning Vortex in Duel Masters, just in case my opponent has, like, I don't know, freaking Gozen match or something. You know, you kind of want to be able to go through spells and trap cards. So you do probably want Spell Trap Destruction. And you probably also want hand traps of your own. Again, Infinite Permanence, Ash Blossoms. You probably want some sort of hand traps for your own. So those are just some ideas. But it's Yu-Gi-Oh, so you can do whatever you want. And you guys already know the how it works with hand traps and whatnot. Back row, I guess you can say. For the extra deck, you run 2 Rubberband shooters. A long time ago, I used to run 3 before there was a game rule change. But after the game rule change, I guess right now I'll talk about it. You can just use 2 Rubberband shooters. You need to summon this card turn 1. Oh, I shouldn't say you need. This card is extremely good to summon turn 1 because this facilitates your Blazar combo. If you don't have this card, it's going to be very hard to get Blazar. I guess let's move this Fast Dragon over to the level 7s. We run the Star of the Show Cosmic Blazar Dragon. Guys, I got this Cosmic Blazar Dragon recently in the mail because I wanted a common one. Again, I do have an ultra rare one. Guys, look at how light the printing is. Let me take them both out of the sleeve. This is a normal one. Look how, like, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, but look at the difference in color. Guys, did I get scammed? Did I get sent a fake? I mean, all the letterings and numberings are correct. But I mean, even the back looks more faded. This is obviously the common one. Like, guys, did I get scammed? I'm telling you right now that this mother trucker in the back is not real. But anyways, you do want to run the Star of the Show Cosmic Blazar Dragon. Only 1 copy. You could run 2 copies. But I mean, you're mad if you run 2 copies because you only have 15 spaces. Again, this is supposed to be a Baron. A Baron is super good for turn 2. Again, just pretend that this is Baron because Baron is super important. Baron is $40. I don't have that type of money. But Baron is super good turn 2, so you want to be able to have a Baron. Yep. Crystal Clearwing. 100% of the times, if you summon Rubberband Shooter, you can get Crystal Clearwing. Crystal Clearwing is super good just because it's almost as good as Blazar, in my opinion. It's that good. You summon this card, and some decks literally can't even get over this card. So it's super strong. And again, yeah, I'll talk about it later. We use 1 Kitedrake. It's a level 8 Speedroid monster. Honestly, this card isn't good. This card is definitely a replaceable card. We use 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Again, this is a turn 2 puzzle piece. If you could summon this card turn 1, but normally you would want to summon this card turn 2, and this card is extremely easy to summon turn 2 as long as there's no disruptions, of course. But you guys know Crystal Clearwing, super good. Or not, it's not Crystal Clearwing. This is Crystal Clearwing. This is Crystal Wing. And then I use, these are the 3 level 7 cards I have in this deck. You want to have 3 level 7 Synchro Wind Monsters. And they could be any ratio. You don't even need to use Clearwing. You don't even need to use Clearwing. But you could. And it's really good at against decks with level 5 or higher monsters, obviously. Clearwing Fast Dragon is super good against decks with extra deck monsters. And then Wind Pegasus Ignister is good for spinning. It can spin a card into your opponent's deck. So again, you can use any ratio of cards, but you want at least 2 or 3 level 7 wind monsters. Just because you're going to be banishing. You're going to be getting rid of these cards with the Rubberband shooter. This is a sleeve for the good Blazar Dragon. I use this level 6. You do want a lot of different levels. So I do use a level 6 monster here. A World Legacy Beast Jiujiu. This card is your... it can target and send a card to the graveyard. So some cards cannot be destroyed. So this card can deal with cards that cannot be destroyed. However, it does target. So, I mean, so some cards, you do have some non-target destruction. Kitedrake is a non-target destruction, for example. So again, you just want options to be able to deal with stuff. Hi-Goita is one of the combo pieces. It's a Speedroid, is one of your combo pieces. Chanbara is a replaceable card. You can replace this card. You don't need this card. This card is excellent as a finisher because you can deal 4,000 and 600 life points to your opponent with just this card. So it's a great finisher, but you don't need it. You can replace it with something else. Speedroid Puzzle is a, well, as the name suggests, it's actually a puzzle piece to your combo. You need this card for the combo. Yeah, I mean, that's it. And then Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter actually is the card that makes Blazar so much easier to summon. Before, Blazar was... Before, if you had Rubberband Shooter and Speed Recovery, that was only a 50% chance of summoning Blazar. Now, if you have Rubberband Shooter and Speed Recovery, it's a 100% summoning Cosmic Blazar Dragon because of Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter is an extremely powerful card in the Speedroid deck because basically you summon this card, you get another Synchro monster. So this card counts as 2 Synchro monsters essentially. This is so strong. So if you want to run 2 of these, you could run 2 of these. You would probably want to replace the Chanbara or honestly the Kitedrake. But yeah, that's the Speedroid deck profile. Honestly, this deck profile is long, so I do want to make another video talking about combos and talking about kind of how the combo works, but because I didn't really mention any of that this video, so if you want to check out the video I'm going to post after this, that I'm going to talk about how to pop off with this deck and how to summon Blazar, watch that video. But yeah, this is just the deck profile. Again, I'm just assuming you know what everything does, so I just went through kind of how everything works. But yeah, thank you for watching, and again, next video after this, link in the description. That's the video you want to watch if you want to see the combo. I'm telling you right now. Alright, thank you. Bye-bye.